This morning, I saw, unfortunately, online, one beautiful film of your Aravindan. The name is English is The Twilight, but I don't know in Malayalam what's the title. And so this beautiful film is based on a raga music. And you know, I was so sad to see the film just in my phone. But I listened to the music, I saw something from beauty of world, from poetry, of poetry, of life too, of Kerala, of India, and it was like a dream. So I hope I see it in the theater. But it was... So I imagine something from this film because the beginning is a story of this father who want make a walk to approach God. And I think maybe the raga music is this way to approach God. And then all the scene of the film, I saw that with the distance of this raga music, you know. It was not a distance, it was a layer. But I feel it. And it was so clear. And thanks to the filmmaker, this genius, to show me in this film that in my life I have so lot of layers. And it's power of music to give that in the cinema. The music gives us a view of a story. Sometimes beautiful themes, sometimes beautiful vibration, but also a view. And that's a composer view. And so it was wonderful, this experience with this meal this morning. And when I came here, it's my first time in Kerala, so I discover everything, every time, and it's very important for me. I feel it me very well, like as a cousin or discover something from a new land. In France, I come from a little insel, Corsica, in deep south of France, and something gave it me back to my country here. It's unbelievable. So I feel me so close, and the music is very important in my country too. So when I came, I made a workshop with Indiana composer, sound maker, director, sound engineer, and one is here. Hey, we tried to have a discussion about what is important with music. What can music do into the film? To feel the film, to understand the film, to know the film, to have a perception, inside perception of the film. Something obvious that the story can't say. And we decide to focus on a silent movie that I brought with me. A silent movie about a very famous story in France, Les Trois Mousquetaires, the Three Musketeers. And it's an historical film, silent movie. And the first day, we told in a theories way, but the second way, we decide to make a new music, to create a new music for a silent movie. And it was a very interesting experience because it's difficult to speak about music. It's quite impossible to discuss about music. When I say to you, okay, I want to compose for you a sad music, okay, you say to me, okay, but my feeling of sadness is not necessarily your feeling. And we have not the same perception or a lot of seeing in the life. So the experience with music in score, in cinema, is just listen to the music and experiment how you can take into the film. So I compose scoring like 30 years, and every filmmaker, it's different. It's a different experience. It's never the same. And when I work with a filmmaker since 30 years, and with Pascal Ferrand, who directed Lady Chatterley, Bird People, and a lot of film, it's true. We work together since 30 years. Every time we make a film together, we make, and I say we make another music. Because, okay, I am the composer, but she's the director, and she give me the intention of music. Not with music theoretical words, because she's not a musician. She can not help me to find the real way on the music, but she can me say some words, and I approach to this scene of music, but we decide together how will be the music. And now we speak about technology. We have a lot of technologies that the musiker, the composer, can come very early to the project, and he can compose. I can compose some and creating some sound or music and give it to the filmmaker. So he can take it or she can take it and listen to it and have an idea to put that music on the film. And all the little pieces of music have a scene, a way, and have them dramatical expression over the film. It's very important. So, because when you believe that music is not important, that music must just comment the situation. Okay, you shoot and you show the people one dramatic scene, and you put on a very sad music. Okay, but I can see it. I can see that the situation is a drama, for example. And with sad music, it gives more, but very often too much. And this too much is not very good for the public, for the audience, and for your film. So the rules, my rules, is in this collaborate relationship with a filmmaker is to give us the limit of the possibility. When you take a little a short scene and you try to put a really differently music, you can see that you have a lot of possibility. If you take away the way of comment, okay, we say, okay, I don't listen at what I see. It's not important. When you take out, okay, this possibility, you have a lot of and a lot of other ways. So you must understand for the film, what is the good ways? Because when I create music, I know the filmmaker directed, he command to me music, I compose music. We are two. The editor is coming. The sound engineer is very important because she gives the sound of the film. And it's very, very, very important. But what decide for all of them, the style, the spirit of music, it's the film. The film lead us. That's why I say before, when I work with the same filmmaker, every new film we have a new music, a new way of music. A new music, okay, it's normal. I'm writing original score, so it's every time a same music. But I saw with my experience that it's more than that. For example, with Pascal Ferrand, first film we decided to make a string quartet. But the two film was Lady Chatterley. It was an historical film, beautiful. And I decided to make a large orchestra, classical Western orchestra, with my style. And so it was really important to decide that together. And she said me something wonderful for a composer. She said to me, I want that we never listen twice, the same music twice in my film. Every music will be new. And we work on a very short time of music. So it was a beautiful experience for me. I write a big symphony, but in very short time place, and every time a new creation. And when we recorded, it was in Czechia, in Prague, with a big orchestra. The orchestra chief come to me, and he was angry, and he said to me, Béatrice, it's not scoring, it's classical film music, contemporary classical music. And I say, okay, because I trust it. I work on this score in the same way I made it for the concert. It's very important that my music, the beautiful is, professional is. Because when we show the film to the public, they listen. And he agreed, but it was difficult because he found it's not in a classical scoring way. So every time when I receive a new project, I have silent time in my room with my piano. I'm pianist, I play piano, and I dream about the music. Just I read the script. It's very important for me because I love reading. I'm the reader. I am a reader. I read a lot of roman, poetry, newspaper, and it's very important to see words. And then I let the music come, and I dream about what. And it's a wonderful time because everything is I can imagine a lot of things, and everything is here in my mind. And then it will be more practice, and I have a discussion with producer, and we must decide how much money we get to make this dream able. And it's not every time easy, but since 30 years I was never disappointed by producers. They help me ever and ever. They help us, they help the film, and they help beauty. I meet an Indian filmmaker, Anup Singh, who know my work with Pascal Ferrand, with Dominique Cabrera, with Radu Mihaili, with a lot of European filmmakers. And we meet us in Berlin. And he showed me his first film, Kissa. It was a Punjabi historical film, a beautiful film, and it was his first film. And the word first film is really important because when filmmakers come to me with the film, it's like a present, you know. I ever feel that they give me a big present. Sometimes they spend 10 years to have a solution to shoot the film. And I know that the music is so important to fix something on the film, on the project, that I feel that like a present. And you know, I am a mother, I have 4 children, and very often when I see filmmakers, I see in them child, you know, because they don't know my language. So they come just with heart and to prime me to write something. And I saw that so this fragility, because a director is not a fragile person, it's a very strong person. He must decide and decide every time, every second what he must do to build the project, to make the film. But in this time of music, it could be different. And when they come to listen to the music, when we record that in studio, because first time we work on digital music, but at least we record that music with instrument, with musicer, and who are the musicer is really important, because you know every musicer is style. He took my music, my score, and he give it to me back. And so it's really important, because in cinema you must go quick. It's very important to me to choose a good one. I didn't have time to change my mind. So so it's important. It's important to really think about musicer, who plays the music. So when the filmmaker and me, we meet us in the studio to record the music. Sometimes it's in France, sometimes no. And we have just 1, 2, 3 days to record it, mix it, so it's very fast. And it's a very big decision. And sometimes when they listen just maquette with technology, sound, and then they don't recognize the music with real instrument. And the music takes so big place and have so power that sometimes they are afraid by the result. So, and something is every time very important, it's the editor. Because he knows the film perfectly, and he can help the filmmakers to accept this new language in the film. Normally, it's no problem at the end with the mixer. who is a very important person because he decides the level of music, of voices, of sounds, and it's a film. It's a sound too, and this sound is a mix of music, voices, and the sound of film. So it's very important to have the good one too. So with Anup Singh, I have a new challenge, because I say to him, you know, I didn't know Indiana music, and if I need to know that, to world, I need 10 years, maybe 20, maybe the rest of my life. So I can't. So are you sure that you want work with an European composer? And he said, okay. And at the same time, he sent me a lot of music of Punjab. So I discovered the ektara, a lot of popular instruments, and I like it so much. I make a beautiful piece between orchestra and ektara, and it was a joy to create this music, because ektara is always rhythm with one sound, and the orchestra play around. And it was for me a challenge, but a joy to write that piece. It was amazing. And so we had a lot of discussion what my kind of music, orchestra, Western, classical music can bring to the film. And we find a way. And I decide to work with an cellist from France who have an electric cello. And with this instrument, he can play in a romantic, in a classical way, but he can also do tuning. He can also do saturation with the sound. And it was very important because the film was really dark. The story of the film was really dark. And I was so inspired that it was a little scene in the film at the beginning. It was a mother with a kid. And they didn't record sound. So we didn't have sound for this lullaby. And it was a pity. And I was in my studio and I decided to create a little melody for the woman. I'm not the singer, but I sing it to you. And it was okay. It was short. And I think maybe the mother can sing that. And I bring it to Anup Singh, and he said, okay, why not? And then it was a way to find somebody in Paris who can sing that in Indian art. And it was really complicated. And so I was in a center, a special music center, who is Mandapa, and the director is a friend of me, and she said to me, you know, I have Indiana singer, okay, we can try it, but I have an idea, and don't be afraid. It's here in Paris, a singer, a French singer, Céline Vadier, and she is a Drupad master. She worked a lot in Indian. She lived between London and Paris, and she can really good. She's really an Indian singer. And before I told you about who play my music. And I decide to make it with Céline. And I say it to nobody I didn't tell it to the producer. We decide with Anoop a little. And she came in the studio, and it was really beautiful because she came Indian dressed, she sat down, and she made a beautiful improvisation. We didn't use it for the film, but just to say, okay, I am here, I am Céline, I am able to sing this song and to be part of the film. And then I find orchestra from Punjab musiker who lives in Paris, and they came, and they have this beautiful question when I call them. They say to me, how much musiker you want? And it was amazing, you know. They came, they was 10, and they make a part of music with my orchestra. And suddenly, you know, something from India, something from Punjab came in the studio, and it was a dream. But cinema is always dreamers. In cinema, we are all dreamers. And so I like this story. And then I take a little course with Céline, Drupad's course. I test his school because she has a school in Paris, and we have good time then. So I think I say this story because music is an universal language, okay, but with many, many, many languages. And music can't lie. If you listen at the music, you feel something in your body. And this relationship is very strong. And when it's nothing in the music, you feel nothing. And today, when I saw this film from Aravindan, I listened to a beautiful raga. I saw the beautiful film, okay, but what it gave to me is a wonderful music. And if you want, like me, I was with my phone, and so I have this double sensation. I saw something, but I listened something. And I was in the mood. I was so high. And I can tell you so much story, you know, from different language and different country. It was a film about Algeria with filmmaker Dominique Cabrera, and she shoot an Algerian fest at the end. Where the people came and danced together, and it was a little orchestra. And it was a guy who played a trumpet in Algerian style. And I think Dominique Cabrera, the filmmaker, she likes the guy because he was a great guy. And she said to me, okay, I want that you compose that music, but please do something with the trumpet guy. And so I decided to write for him the first theme on the film. And so we work a lot. It was beautiful. It was good. And you know, at the end of the film, you see him play trumpet. And it gives you a background view of the film. Because from the top of the film, you listen to trumpet. And at the last, you see the man who plays the trumpet. And it's so this score gives something more to the film that we decide before. But it was clear. when we saw the film with Dominique Cabrera, we see, wow, we did that. And so it's, I think I come very often from the head of the filmmaker. Sometimes I have an idea that I make a promenade, a walk on his head, on his mind, and that I feel something, I understand something. And I have a lot story like that, that I feel me so close. Pascal Ferrand, she said, his role is I become like a twin, her twin, a musical twin. And very often I feel that I write the music, my hand writes the music from other people. And it's beautiful. It's very important for me, it's very important for my life, and it's very beautiful. And I try to shoot short film about my music, third time, and I was in an other space. So my music was here, but I want show something, I want say something, and my music. And it was difficult to me to put my music in my film, really. And sometimes I choose the extract. I didn't like it very much, but in the film, it was important. So you see, it's a different way on listen the music. And listen the music inside. And very strong music, for example, or very beautiful music didn't function in the film, didn't get really in the film. So you must put that out. It's sometimes difficult. But I think today it's a new way to compose original score because of this technology, because we have time to test, to decide together. And but in the production, we must take this time. And very often the music come like no. It's difficult to decide when comes the time of music, to discuss the music. So when I read the script, it's before the shooting, it gives me time to dream, to compose, and it's ever good to have time to compose, ever. And then the shooting, the editing, but we must try to decide that 1 week, for example, 2 weeks is just to think about music with a maquette that the composer give before, and maybe with other music, new music that the filmmaker bring, and to have really a time to have time. Time give out me time. That's it. And when I am always stressed in the process, it's difficult. And the quality after depend of this on it. And this is record music. That's like a record, so that's forever on the film. So did you have some question or some idea to exchange with me? Yeah.
Beatrice, it was a marvelous session.
Yeah.
Because your idea of, even so music is universal language, it has different dialects, it varies from country to country. Every ethos, cultural ethos has its own music. You just quoted the Punjabi, Ektara, and music like that. My question is regarding, you touched upon one prime factor of, you make a twin of the character, musical twin of the character. It reminds me the digital twin of Paris in Delhi. We can make a digital twin of Trivandrum in Paris also. So there is a digital twin connection in music. When you create a character, when you score for a character, you create a digital twin of the character's mind. Is it so? Is it what you mean?
Yeah, I don't understand really the question.
His question is regarding, you touched upon that every music you score is a twin of the character. So it is very similar to creating a digital twin of Trivandrum in Paris, a culture twin. Is it so? Is it on the lines of?
Yeah, it could be a twin. It could be shadows. It could be. We can have other words to see the relationship. You know, but I must be the voice. Of the filmmakers, because she can do the music himself. Okay, and it's difficult to speak about music, to find the good words. You know, if I say to you, can you compose for me a romantic music? Okay, maybe you have an idea, but it's not my idea. And the problem is that it's my film, I'm a filmmaker. So, and you say to me, but I compose for you a romantic music. And I say, no, it's not a way. And you must search. And it's why I use this term of twin, because I work with a person, I feel me like a twin, like a sister, and it's very important.
From your musical journey started from Three Musketeers of Dumas, and then you came to Lady Chatterley's. What is the transition from Dumas to D.H. Lawrence, Lady Chatterley's?
Yeah, D.H. Lawrence, Lady Chatterley, okay. You know, first of all, I listened that Pascal Ferrand won't do her version of Lady Chatterley. And I said, but why she won't take this one? It's an old story. My uncle read it under the table, but they read it when I was a child. So why she won't take this story? And then she don't call me, and so I was a little bit sad. I think maybe she didn't want to work with me. So and one day she called me and she said me, okay, Beatrice, I need you. I give you a rendezvous in my studio and I show you something. And she gave me her version, a film. And it was a full film. The editing was not finished. And I put my computer on my piano and I saw a beautiful film. I was petrified. I stayed 4 hours during petrified and I saw the film. And it was amazing. And then I called Pascal and I said that to Pascal.
Okay.
Wait a moment, okay? It's so beautiful. And she said me, oh, you are gentle. And I said, what? you are a gentle person. Thank you, Béatrice. And then I get a rendezvous with the producer. And I say to the producer, you have a wonderful film. You know that? And he said to me, what? And I understand that they don't know that the film is beautiful. And when I came with this sister attitude, I give everybody my energy. And I said, it's a shedevre, it's wonderful. We must make a beautiful music. We must have a big orchestra. We must go. And I saw the result, you know. It was a beautiful film. We get 5 César, a lot of prize everywhere in the world. It's a shedevre. But she was so tired. But I saw it. They was all tired. The project was difficult. They had no money, a lot of difficulty to produce that. And in this rendezvous in Paris, the producers say to me, who produced the music? And I said, but you. And he said, okay, but you have a huge project, but we have no money. And we decide to find the money together, and we have all at the end. But you know, I feel this community around on a film, and I'm a part of it, and I come ever at the end of the project with my energy, with my creativity, and I am really on it. So
if an Indian director calls you for scoring his film, what could be the major hurdles before you? Because Indian culture is very different from that of the French or German culture. So music score varies from country to country. The ethos, cultural ethos also changes. How you will, if Indian filmmaker calls you, Béatrice, for scoring his film, what will be the major hurdles, unlike that of France?
What is the hardest between? It's the same.
Culture.
No, it's the same. For me, it's the same.
Okay.
I have no problem.
Okay.
No. I like if I like a project, if it's the same. I get it at the end. It's why I say to you this story with the lullaby, with Ektara, with a French singer, with a Punjabi musician. I get it because it's come to me. It's very strange. So when you are part on a film, a lot of things on voice come. For example, another example, I was in Mostra de Venise with another film, and I came alone. The other people was here. I travel alone, and I get in a ship in a boat to go in Venice, and I meet an American filmmaker, and it was we talked together and blah blah blah. And are you going to Venezia? And yeah. And I had 2 films in Venezia. I made the music for 2 films. So we have good relationship with a man, and and I go to the screening, and I give him my phone number, and I go to the screening, and I meet my filmmaker, and I say to him, I travel with this filmmaker, and he said to me, it's a dream of my life, this man, and I said, okay, we can call him, and he will come, and we do that. So, and it was ever and ever this role of when I film a sister of when I want give present but it's not conscient. It's another way. It's a way of feeling, of be part of it, of know each other, and it's dependent not of me. When I compose an opera, I wrote everything. The music, the lyrics, I decide the subject, I choose the instrumentist, and it's my project. It's my idea. But in the film, I'm just a part of the community. And I like it. It's very well too. Sometimes difficult, but I'm not for here to express myself. I'm here to understand. That's why it's the same to compose for Anoop or for Pascal. For me, they are good filmmakers. That's all.
Thank you for this lecture. I just want to ask you two questions. I came a bit late.
Yeah.
But maybe you did reply before. But the first question is regarding the previous question that the man, I don't know your name.
Yeah.
Ask you. It's regarding cultural codes from music in Indian films and music in French films. I think there are some codes which are quite different. And I would like to have your position on that point. And on the second point was regarding the place of a composer in the film. Most of the time, we use a composer very late in the film, and you show it in your example when the film was finished, and it was a complementary narration of the film. Due to the beauty of the music, of the choice of the music. So I would love to hear about something about that from your part.
But to end that with your question, I'm sure it depends of the filmmaker volunteer too and producer. When they are sure that music is important, always be okay. When people decide that music is not really important, when something is not important, nothing is happening really good for that. So that's a way to have an idea with music. Before we speak about Aravindan movies, beautiful, I saw, and the music is the raga. So it's an idea to base a film on the raga. When the filmmaker have an idea, strong idea, it's ever and ever beautiful. But in other cases, they don't have, but they look at for with the composer, and it's very important. And for your twice question, it's very important to find the way to put the work on music, on the planning, on the film. It's more that take a lot of money. It's very important to decide when we work together on the music. And I'm lucky to work with a filmmaker who care a lot of music, and so we make screening with the producer, sound engineer, mixer, before we record the music. To have this moment where everybody cares about music. Sometimes it's difficult for the composer, because everybody had his or her ideas, blah blah blah, and it's a little bit too much. But I learn from this meeting ever and ever. I learn more.
Hello.
Yeah.
My name is Ujjwal, and a very general question, the medium that we all work in, a big part of is rejection. Like, we face a lot of rejection. You may have faced it. Like, you compose a piece of music and you give it to the director to use it, and maybe after some time, he says that it's not working. Let's go for some other music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you face such a situation, when you have spent so much time working on a piece of music and then it's rejected, how do you deal with that? That's one question.
I am sad. what I can say. I said, okay, maybe we put that in the record when and we make a CD with the music. It's really sad, but sometimes sometimes it was not a good idea. But in other ways, sometimes, I work on a maquette. And I say, no, why you try to compose this music? It's not a way of the film. But I do it. And it takes time. And when I come to the first meeting with a filmmaker, I'm not sure. Maybe I take it. Maybe I didn't take it. And suddenly, for example, for his last film, Pascal Ferrand, she got this piece. And she said, wow, we have it, it's a film. And he rejected others that I was sure she wanted. So it's very important to believe my creation when I am on a film. And sometimes I have when I am with patients, and I can bring a music later in the film. Sometimes once he rejected, and twice he accepted. Because the film, the score is during the film. Sometimes you look at one scene and the music is okay. And when you have the screening with the total, all the music, you see it's not going on. So it's Pascal Ferrand, when I work on for her first film, she said to me, scoring is like a puzzle, You must put your piece to complete the vision, to complete the film. And I like this view of composing. And be careful that very often young filmmakers, they don't believe in the film, and they put too much music everywhere, because they believe it's help editing, it's help understanding or emotionally function in the film. And I say it's like when you put too much chocolate sauce on the film, on the cake, then it's too much chocolate. It's good, but I have this vision because I like cooking, and sometimes and it's an ingredient of a film. It's a part of a film, the music, but it must be harmonious, the ensemble.
Hi, ma'am. My name is Aranya, and I also have a film at IFFK. My question is two-pronged. One is, how do you approach your research with respect to music? How in-depth do you go? And also, how do you ensure that you're not working with certain stereotypes and cliches which are associated with, say, representation of a music of a country elsewhere? And the other is that I was working on an indigenous idea for a film, and me and my composer, both of us were not from the community. But we of course wanted to use a lot of indigenous music in the film. One problem that we were facing, and I want to ask you through that problem, was that how the way an indigenous song was composed was the rhythm of it was not. It was not in even, odd. It was in varying time signatures, which was not palatable to the conditioning of a general audience. So, do you how would you approach a tricky situation like this? Where you're looking at a piece of composition which appeals to you, but you perhaps think that it will not perhaps work for the audience because they're also conditioned to hear things in a certain time signature.
The audience is a big problem. Is the big boss. But how we can be sure that the audience didn't like it? That's the real question. You know, I am a musiker too. I write a piece of music, and I work on a pop music. And it was ever the case of audience. But I saw that very often the title who get on top of the hit, what didn't was the title we decide before. So when you have a strong idea and you are sure it's a good idea for the film, keep it. Okay? It's very important. It's you feel something, and how to be sure that the audience didn't like it. If you have, for example, a producer of a team who say you take very popular music. Okay, they are popular today, but tomorrow, no. The time is going on. So it's a good question, really. Yeah. Yeah, every time. And when you, so I think that yeah, and I didn't have I didn't want to listen inside the film the same that I listen every day in the radio, because it's too much. So, and it's okay for one day, 1 year, but before it's going. And the mode, to be with the mode, it's very difficult. You know it. You know we know it with clothes. You know it. 1 year you can have these trousers, but 2 years after, no, it's ugly. So it's the same with music. And music didn't, and then you are in this time, in this epoch, in this period. It's a strong color when you every time think about audience. Okay, maybe the people like dance with techno, but when he see your film, he listen to cello and it's beautiful, and the people come back and buy your CD and listen to cello every time, and then cello become top of the hit because of your film. You know, I learned music in academy, classical academy, and it was a composer I loved it, Gustav Mahler, and he was a noun. And in the classical concert hall, the programmator didn't like Gustav Mahler, and it was this Italian filmmaker Luchino Visconti who shot the film More à Venise. And he put a great, beautiful music from Gustav Mahler. And the world, all the world, listen at this music. And it's a huge music. It's so romantic. It's so depressive. It's so beautiful. And after that, in the musical world, every concert programmator put Symphony of Mahler. And in this way, Visconti discovered Mahler again. And against the musical classical concert in Europe. It was too much, and just because this beautiful film. It's so cinema is here to speak everybody to culture, to beauty, to because filmmakers are so they are people who like reading. A lot of films are based of novels, of romance. Is very important. They are listen some kind of music. They like some painters, and it's very important if cinema bring culture around the film. And so you are in capacity, you are able to decide. And very often, Quentin Tarantino, when Quentin Tarantino came in the cinema, he came with an American style of music that nobody never heard in America. And he brings the style of music, and now with the dance and everything, it's popular, you know. So he find a new idea and he give it to everybody. And when you love Tarantino's film, you love this music too. It's part of his world. A film is like a planet. And when I see the film, I enter into the planet. And it's it's a dream, it's travel. So keep your ID. The research for music. Sometimes it's very easy. Sometimes it's very strong. Sometimes I have an idea, strong idea. I know that's. Sometimes it comes from sound of the film. Because something sound, I take a sound from the film and I listen music on the sound. I transform it, and it's very often it's the sound of the film, and I listen carefully to the filmmaker, respectfully and carefully. I take some words. Very often they come and they say, I have no idea and I have no money. But and I have no time, okay. But I feel something, I find something.
Say if you were to create music for a film, say an Indian film, since music is culture specific, one would, there are cultural influences and specific musical influences when say a music director works around a certain idea. So, for example, I mean that it's important to understand the culture behind, the cultural specificity behind that idea. So the way the idea expresses itself in music. So if you were to compose music for a film that comes from a different culture, then how would you approach it? So would you listen to a lot of music from that country, or would you try to use some, some kind of instruments from that country, or what would be your approach, largely? And often one tends to also, one hears a lot of music that's universal, which basically means that it should kind of evoke emotion in almost every, human being. So if I hear this music, I naturally feel emotional, and I melt. So I mean, I understand that is not the intention of your music, the music that you create. Your music wants to blend with the nature of the film, with the idea behind the film, right? But when you are approaching a film of a different culture, how would you work with that idea?
So, for example, for the second film with Anup Singh, it was very interesting because it was the title is The Song of Scorpions. It's the story of the shamani, and she have a song to curate people who was bitten by a scorpion. So they take out the death, and she have this song. And in the story, it was so she's like a goddess in the story. And it's in a story a camel driver. It was Irfan Khan who plays the camel driver, who is a bad boy. And when he saw this girl, when she listened to this song, when he saw this girl, and in the film, the girl is not. Is Golshifteh Farhadi, so an Iranian actress who learned Hindi in the film, for the film, and was comment on dit doublé? J'ai oublié, s'il vous plaît. Dub, thank you. Was dub with the voice of traditional singers here. So you see the search of story is I won't speak about that because it's right on your question. Okay, so where was my place? Where can I be in this project? So it was an very sadness love story. At the end, everybody dead. The couple didn't function. They get married, the camel driver and the goddess, but it was terrible. And she killed herself with scorpions. She let the scorpion bite and she died. So they died together, and it was horrible. And it was a rape during the film. And I decided to build the music with rhythm and cello to create the duality of this story. And it was cello, tabla, tempura, and orchestra just for a really aggressive and contemporary music, detuned, difficult to listen, very, 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 very hard music. Didn't care with the audience. But, and it was the beauty of the song. So we make it was really two music in the film, and it's difficult to work on the film when the characters are singing. No, India, it's a lot of films, so, but and it's beautiful. But so, it was difficult because there was really traditional songs. And maybe, and it was the idea of Anup, and it was wonderful, maybe unknown songs. And it belongs to a fiction, because the songs was created for the film. So nobody knows the film. So it was so strange. But I still work on Indian instrument, double flute, very beautiful, from Rajasthan. So they give rhythm and melody, but rhythm together, and it was really important that I use this instrument. So, and I work on this instrument with a flutist and a musiker who show me what I can do with this instrument. I know that, but he show me more of the instrument. You have discussion. I am the musiker. So when I listen to music, I cannot the rhythm, the high of the note. It's my language. Okay, we have cultural, traditional music. I say I come from this land, Corsica. We have a lot of traditional music. But I know when I listen to the music, I can learn a lot and quick learn of this music. Okay. And so I try to mix the sound. I treat that like sound.
Beatrice,
yeah.
You said that music is, every film is a planet. And you also said that you get musical inspiration from outer planet, somewhere else, from ET, some extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
Could you please elaborate on it? How that inspiration comes from you, from an outer planet, extraterrestrial?
I can imagine that. I imagine that, this music. I imagine so.
So they said that music is the best ever antidepressant humankind ever invented. It is the best tranquilizer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And baby is the first language they listen. The first language they understand is music.
Exactly. Lullaby.
Lullaby, but voice of the mother, heart of the mother, pam 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 inside. Voices very far away. Maybe the babies can listen the music of planet Mars, or because they are so inside but so far away of everything, They are in water, so it's like filter, and but they listen music because we make an experience with I know a very good violinist, He's a friend of mine.
Then Beatrice, just a toddler even now.
Yeah.
An infant.
Yeah.
A baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And, when a mother is pregnant, my best friend, she's a good violinist. And when she was pregnant, she had an idea. She plays the same music at the same time. 9 months.
Okay.
And she became a girl. And when she wants that the baby calm, she plays the melody. And the baby sleep. And the both parents was musical. The both parents. So, and when the baby was very little, they don't have money to have a babysitter. So the baby came in a studio during a huge recording, and she didn't cry. She was asleep, or she has interest, because this language of music, she knows it from the beginning. Yeah. Yeah. Not so much because I didn't have time, and I didn't have a lot of time. I write very quick, sometime 1 month, sometime one time 2 weeks. I compose the music for a big score in 2 weeks because the filmmaker changed his mind. He worked with another composer and it's don't match. So they call me and they give me, okay, if you can, for the project, you have 2 weeks. And but I saw the film, it was beautiful. And it was Christmas time. And I have 4 children. You see the problem. So I work day or night and I make my Christmas family time. Yeah. Very often, it's not my decision. Because all I compose, I want that I want that on the film. I need that for the film, but it's not my decision. And very often I'm sad, I said it before, but then with time, when I see the film on screening, I understand they are right and I was wrong. But it's difficult. Sometimes, when I discover the film and they put out just one music, when the silence comes, here it's breaking inside me. He missed me, so it's like falling down, But then, okay, it's not my decision. I won't put on the film every music I composed. Because when I compose it, it's why I'm sure it's good for the film. But it's not my film. It's hard. Thank you.